In this video, we are going to be trying out our solo RPG rule system that we are calling That's Novel, and we will be doing so by using this book, Pandemic. Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming. Welcome to an experiment. It is finally time for us to try out the rules That's Novel in a solo RPG session. Now, if you haven't seen the previous video to this one, where I have laid out the rules, I will put a link down below where you can go and watch that video. I also have a free PDF, as you see here, that has a summary of the rules that you will need in order to run through these solo role-playing sessions using nothing other than a novel and this simple tool for picking out specific words and phrases. So go ahead and check that out, get yourself up to speed so you can follow along as we begin to run through this process. Basically, I'm just going to use one book, Pandemic, and this is going to be more of a modern story. The genre is going to be maybe something more like modern thriller, and so I'm going to try to keep the story in line with that genre, and we'll see how this goes. And like I said, this is an experiment, and everything I'm going to do here is fully improvised in the moment, so it may get a little crazy, but hey, that's part of what the fun and the terror of solo role-playing is. You never know what's going to happen. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into this session. We've got our pen, we've got our paper, we've got our tool, we've got our novel, and we've got our rules summary. That's about all we need in order to make this happen. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Let's begin our story with a catalyst, with a prompt. What is the background of this story? Oh, here we go. The phrase that I got is, he deeply distrusted banks. Okay, so that is the beginning point, a distrust for banks. And we have already something of a character. Does this person have a name? Let's get together. Prori. 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 Prori is the name of our character. Prori deeply distrusts banks. And we can say this, that Prori lived his entire life in something of a rural area, and he moved into the city in order to try to establish himself and to begin a company. But in the process, he has come into contact with many different bank individuals who have not exactly dealt with him in a very honest way. He's lost a lot of money, and because of that, his company has gone out of business. And what kind of company is it, actually? Let's see. Let's open this up and see if we can get any prompts here. The wind. Okay, we'll say this. He had an idea to develop a company for wind energy. And all of his proposals were met by these bank people with a bit of skepticism, although the bank individuals were very curious in his technology that he's bringing from his experience out in the country. So they took a lot of copious notes about the technology that he's developing, but none of them has been willing to front the money. And in fact, because of this, he's gotten many sort of promises, half promises that haven't panned out, and in the end of the day, he has lost all of his money, and his wind energy company has gone out of business. Is there a name to the company? Index length. We'll call it Indexel. Indexel is the name of his company. His company, Indexel, has gone out of business. And now Prori is standing in front of a bank. He's going to go into the bank with his final hope to resurrect his company. He has one piece of technology information that he has not yet shared with the bank. And now he's going into the bank in order to throw out his proposal and to try and to succeed in getting the money he needs to start his company off. It's a warm day. It's a warm day in Southern California, in a little town with the name Rami. small town of Ramey. And Prori walks up to the front of the bank, and he sees the big pillars, the golden pillars shining in the sunlight, and he knows that this is a desperate attempt to be able to finally get the momentum in his company that he needs. He slowly walks up the stairs leading to the main entrance in the bank, and he walks through the doors. And immediately when he comes into the lobby way of the bank, he notices that there's something that is not altogether normal. Now here's a question I'm going to ask the Oracle. Is there something nefarious happening? Or is it something good? So let's ask, is it something nefarious? Well, let's just say it's a 50-50 chance. It could be nefarious or it could be good. Let's open up our page and find a word that has 5 letters. The answer there is no, it's not nefarious. And so it's not nefarious. It's actually something good. And not only is it something good, but he looks and he sees that there is sitting there in the bank is several individuals with dress suits on and with suits. It looks like a group of five individuals that could be investors from another company. And the bankman, immediately when he sees Prori walk into the door, he shouts out his name, Prori, Prori. I'm glad that you finally were able to join us. Come over here. There's some people I'd like you to meet. And is there the name of the bankman? Let's go ahead and see if we can find Holden. We'll say this. The bankman, his name is Holden. And Holden says to Prori, come on over, Prori. I would like you to meet these individuals. And Prori walks over, and immediately all 5 of them stand up from where they are sitting, and they stretch out their hands to shake their hands. And one of the individuals, a female with sharp eyes, very tall female, sharp eyes, she stares directly at Prori, and she says, we are very interested in your latest technology, and we would be quite interested in entertaining the idea of perhaps purchasing the rights from you. Prori at this point is a little bit skeptical, but he goes along with this and sits down. Now the question is, what is going on with these people? Okay. The phrase I got was tapped several times. So as Prori sits down, he begins now to dialogue with these people and to carefully describe a bit of his technology for his wind energy from his company Indexel. But without giving too much detail. Of course, he doesn't want to reveal the secrets of his company. But as he's doing this, he looks over at one of the other 4 individuals that are sitting with this woman, all of them in black suits, black sunglasses, and he sees that one of them is tapping ever so slightly on his ear. The question is, does Prori notice this? And let's go ahead and take a skill check for Prori. And I will say that given the situation, given how he is super focused at this point, that I would say it is going to be a difficult task. Prori, we can go ahead and make him an intermediate character, so we'll go ahead and give him a +2 to all of his skill checks. So we'll say it's difficult. We're going to need to hit, we'll say it's the lower side of difficult, so he needs to hit a 6. So let's go ahead and put this in here. 4 + 2 for him would be 6, so we hit the skill check. Prori notices immediately that one of these men is tapping on his ear, and he notices that there is an earpiece in the man's ear, and immediately now his blood begins to boil and his heart begins to beat because he knows that there's something wrong here. He is being observed. This whole talk seems to be recorded or being transmitted to something else, and immediately he feels that his hands start to get sweaty and his head gets sweaty. Prori came in with a briefcase that has all of the information for his technology, for his wind energy. And his voice now begins to crack. The question is now, is Prori going to somehow try and leave this meeting? Is it so overwhelming, the sense of foreboding, that he wants to leave the meeting? Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is very likely. So I'm going to take two words and compare the two answers. First word is had, which is no. And the next one is clues, which is 5. No and. So I will say this. We'll take the no because I said, is it likely that he leaves? So no, he doesn't leave. He sits and remains in a conversation now, and he feels that his hands are beginning to shake. His voice is beginning to crack. He is getting nervous. The question is now, does this woman, and let's go ahead and give her a name. Let's see. Asra. The woman's name is Asra. Does she notice that Prori's is getting nervous? And I will say, well, we'll say that she's a pretty strong character, +3. I will say it's pretty moderate, high moderate to see this. So we'll say a 5. We need to get a 2 or higher. No problem, the word was purpose. So yes, she notices immediately that he is getting nervous. And Asre stops what she's saying, and she stares directly into Prori with her sharp eyes. And she says, excuse me, sir, but do we need to take a break? It seems like you are not feeling well. And Prori, at this point, waves her off and says, I'm fine. I just need to use the restroom. Can you point me in the direction of the restroom? He says to Holden. And Holden says, absolutely, sir. Just right through here. Walk down this hallway and take a left, and you'll see the big doors there, the steel doors. You can go in there. So Prori says, excuse me for a second. And he stands up and he grabs his briefcase. Obviously, he doesn't want to leave this here. He grabs his briefcase and begins to walk down the hallway. Now, when he does this, do the 4 individuals that are sitting there begin to fan out and follow him and prepare for something? And I'm going to say this is likely, so we're going to take 2 words. The first one is his. That is 3. That's a no, but the next word is going to be travel, which is 6 letters, and that is a yes and. So yes, as soon as Prori leaves the meeting and walks down the hallway, he pushes through the steel door and goes into the bathroom and begins to splash cold water on his face because he is extremely nervous. As soon as this happens, the 4 individuals in black suits begin to pan out in the room. 2 of them head towards the entrance. 1 of them heads to the back of the bank. And then 1 of them begins to follow Prori into the bathroom. At this point, Holden is confused by this. Does Holden think this is out of the ordinary and strange? And I would say it's very likely. So let's see what here. We have started, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's no and. And then we have the next one would be shirt, and that is 5. No and. So, okay. So he doesn't think this is strange. Holden doesn't think this is strange. And the reason why Holden doesn't think this is strange is because he is in league with these people. So not only does he think it's okay, but he's also encouraging it. You see him nod at Asra, the woman. And you see Asra herself reaching down to her hip, as if there's some kind of weapon there, and Holden himself gives a nod, and he looks over and says to her in a low voice, "It's time. We got to take care of this." So immediately, when Prori is in the bathroom, splashing water over his face, he hears steps coming down the hallway. It is the man in the black suit, and he now reaches into his chest pocket underneath his jacket, and he pulls out what appears to be a weapon. And he starts to slowly open the door. Now, the question I have here is, when Prori is hearing this, are there any windows anywhere in this bathroom? Is it a bathroom that has windows that are facing outward? And I will say 50-50. Let's just go ahead and see. And the answer is 3. No, there are no windows here. So Prori is trapped at this point. Immediately, he grabs his briefcase and he pushes his way into one of the stalls and locks the door. The steel door opens up, and this man begins to walk in. And Prori glances quickly through the crack in the stall. And the question is, does he notice the gun? Does he notice the gun, or is the guy able to conceal it? I would say it is unlikely that he notices the gun, because this guy is trained with weapons. He wouldn't be walking around holding the gun out. He would have it somewhat concealed. So I'd say it's unlikely. Let's go ahead and look at 2 words here. The first one is a 3, so no, and the next one is a 4, which is a yes, but we'll take the no answer here. He does not notice the gun, but he does notice that this individual is following him in, and immediately he begins to sweat even more. He can feel his heart beating even faster, because he knows that they have followed him in here, that he's not allowed to go to the bathroom himself, but he is being surveilled, and they have followed him in here. And now we come to a point where we have to ask this question. Is our hero, Prori, is he going to attack this guy? Has it come so far at this point that he feels like he needs to attack him? And I'm going to say this. At this point, he still doesn't quite know what's going on. It's unclear. He's not going to attack him unless he really feels like he needs to. So I'm going to say it is very unlikely he's going to attack. So let's go ahead. The first word here is insincere. That is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is going to be an extreme yes. The second one we have is going to be the word theories, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is going to be a no and. So he's not going to attack him. And he's going to remain silent in this room. And he's going to take out the folder. The folder that has the secret information about his wind energy company and his technology, and he's going to set it on the ledge behind the toilet. And at this point, the man who walked in, you hear him cry out, "Prori, are you in here?" Prori remains silent. The man goes down to one knee, and he can see that Prori's feet are in one of the stalls. And he says, "Prori, I can see your feet in there. Come on out. We need to talk." Prori flushes the toilet, leaving his files on the shelf behind the toilet. He opens the stall door and walks out. And at this point now, he sees that the man pulls out a gun and puts the gun right on to Prori. And he says, "Okay, no sudden moves, and we'll be fine. I need you to hand over the briefcase right now. Get down on your knees," he says to him. Is Prori going to get down on his knees? I would say it's very likely, because he is very scared at this point. Let's see. Going is the word, and that will be a total of 5 letters. That's no and. Our next one is going to be was. That is no. So, holy cow. So here we go. He does not get on his knees. We'll take the no there, because we said it was likely. So he does not get on his knees. He stays where he is standing. And he drops the briefcase on the floor, and it falls on the floor. And he kicks it with his foot over to the man in the black suit. "Take it and leave me alone," he says to the man. "Very good," the man says. He picks it up and taps his ear once again, and then says, "All right, I've got the briefcase. One of you come here and get it, and then let's get out of here." So immediately the door opens again, and another individual in the black suit comes and grabs the briefcase and exits again. At this point now, the man backs up against the wall, against the door, and with the gun still pointed out, and he taps his ear again, and he, as if he's making some kind of phone call, and you hear this voice come across in his earpiece ever so slightly. Rescue 911, can we help you? What's your emergency? And the man says, we're over here on 4276 85th Street. We've got a potential bank robber, a man who's been acting strange here. I've got him cornered in the bathroom. Send some police officers immediately. Very well, we'll send some officers immediately. We've got some in the area, and we'll send them over immediately. And at this point, Prori sees what is happening. He's being framed at this point, and now he knows what he needs to do. The other individual has left the bathroom with the briefcase and is running out now. You see the man with the briefcase come to the woman, passing the briefcase off to her, and now both the woman and the other two men by the door head out into something of a black vehicle. Holden standing there, overseeing everything, making sure that everything is working. At this point now, Prori realizes that he does not have much time. So he is immediately going to charge in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to give this individual a +1. We'll say he's a good soldier, but he's not as good as Prori. Prori's actually quite skilled, believe it or not. He's not only intelligent, but he also has a lot of skill in different tactical aspects and different combat aspects. So we're going to go ahead now and check for initiative to see who begins. Actually, you know what? We're going to let Prori attack first because he is surprising this guy. This guy doesn't really know what is going on. He doesn't expect this to be happening because Prori has showed such timidity up to this point. Now Prori is going to charge this man and try to tackle him down. So let's go ahead and see if he can knock the man down, and he's going to try to knock the gun out of his hand. So let's go ahead and find a word here. We have articles, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus his 2. That's a total of 10 attacking. The defense of a light, and that's not going to be enough. So immediately, Prori hits the man and knocks him to the ground. The gun goes flying out of the man's hand, and Prori now is on top of him and begins to strike him with his fists. And we're going to go ahead and see here. Let's look at our weapons here. He's using bodily weapons, so fists. So how much damage does he do when he comes down striking this man in the face? Wow. Understand is a huge word here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to say this. He comes down and smashes the guy's face with an 11. That is more than enough to knock the guy out. You see immediately blood comes running down out of his nose, his face, as he loses consciousness. Prori grabs the gun now and sticks it into his belt, and he ever so carefully begins to push his way out of the bathroom, looking now ever so slightly carefully as he comes out. Does he see anybody? Has the rest of the crew left other than Holden? Is there anybody left from this original group of 5 people? We're going to say it 50-50. The answer is no. There's none of them left. They have all gone out with the briefcase, and they are heading out to the vehicle. When he sees this now, he runs back into the bathroom, into the stall. He grabs his files because he knows the coast is clear, and he puts the files behind his shirt in his belt, and he comes slowly out the door. Holden is the only one who is left here, and Holden is standing by the entrance of the bank. The question is, does Holden see him at this point? And I would say it's unlikely that he does, because he's been sneaking around quite well. Unlikely 4 first, yes, he sees him, and the next one is the word private. 1, 2, 3, 7. So no, and. So not only does Holden not see him, but Holden is actually walked out to the entrance to try to make sure that this group of individuals gets into their vehicles fine, and then nothing else happens. And not only that, but the bank seems to be rather empty at this point. It's almost like Holden had arranged his meeting and sent his staff away for an hour for lunch, so that the bank would be rather empty. So at this point, Prori is going to run out of the door, seeing that this is his opportunity, and he's going to run into the bank, further into the bank, and he's going to take off out the back door if he can find a back door. So he runs through the bank, through the teller's section, comes into something of a break room. The question is there a door from the break room heading out of this building? And let's go 50-50. We got the word bulletin, bulletin. So that is 4, 8. So the yes and. So yes, there is a door that is heading out of this break room. And it actually leads out into a back alleyway where he will not be spotted. And the camera, the security camera that was up there facing the alleyway, which is usually filming this point, has been broken. So there is no security camera. He's able to push out of this door. There's no alarm, no security camera. He comes out into the alleyway. He's panting deeply now at this point. You can hear sirens now that are coming from the distance and in all sorts of different directions. He can't really tell because he doesn't know where they're coming from. It's this a massive sound chaos of sirens. Maybe the question is how many police cars? Let's go ahead and see how many police cars are coming. 4. There are 4 police cars that are on their way, coming from different directions. The question is now, does one of them come to the alleyway? And let's say it is likely. 2 would be yes, but, and the next one is wonder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus yes and. So yes, the police car, one of the police cars, drives into the alley, the back side of the bank. And not only that, but the police car is exactly the size of the alleyway. There's not much room on the sides, so it's not possible for Prori to run past the police car. And at this point, the police car stops, and there are several individuals who see Prori, and they have their guns pulled. Immediately, it comes over the sound of the loudspeaker. Stop where you are right there. Stop where you are. Go down on your knees. Put down your weapon. And they can see that he has a weapon. Immediately, the police officers start to signal for the other cars that they have found the fugitive who was behind the bank. Now, here's the question that we have. Is there some kind of ladder close by that would allow Prori to escape from this alleyway? Let's say it's likely. So let's go ahead and look here. The first one is 4. That's a yes. And our second one would be sentence. That is an 8. So yes and. So yes, there is a ladder directly to his left. And it's within reaching distance. Usually these ladders are extremely high, but this is within reaching distance. And it's also slightly shielded on the sides, so he will potentially be shielded from any fire that he might take. Immediately, Prori turns and he begins to climb. Is he able to climb in his stress? I will say this is going to be a moderate task, and we'll set it at a 4 plus 2. Yes, no problem. I got the word expected, so that's plenty of letters. Plus 2. He is able now to begin to climb up this ladder. And when he does this, are the police officers going to fire on him? And I would say it's very unlikely, because police officers typically don't fire weapons if they discharge their weapons if there's not a good reason to do so. This is not a good reason. He's not threatening them. He's just trying to escape. So I will say it's very unlikely. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So that's a yes and. Oh my goodness. And the other one would be, the other word is called, which is also 6 letters. So yes and. So even though it's not typical for police officers to do this, one of them now gets out of the car and says, "Stop there, you! Stop there!" And immediately he discharges his weapon and takes a shot. Now here's the question. I'm going to say, because he is shielded here, we're gonna take off some of the to hit possibilities here. Let's give it a, we'll say a -1. All the police officers, we'll make them just like the soldiers, a +1. So that'll even out. No benefit for this. He's going to attack with a total of 5. Now, is Prori able to evade this? And we got the word outbreak. and +2, so no problem. So Prori is able to evade the shot as he continues to climb up this ladder, eventually now coming to the roof. And you can hear now the sirens circling the building all around him. The police officers have now come in and surrounded the entire area. It looks like Prori is really going to be in trouble. But here's a question now we want to ask. Let's take a prompt here and see if there's something interesting that we can contribute at this point to the story. Something like a random event. And the phrase I got was an international livestock. Oh, okay. An international livestock. Oh, I like this. Okay. Oh, I like this. I like this. Okay. So this is a bank in an urban center, but it's not very far from the rural communities. It's a quite small urban center, close to the rural communities, and it's not strange that you have farmers that are bringing different wares, livestock, different produce into the city. Now at this point, Prori looks over and he sees that there is a truck with a tractor that has just pulled into town because it is heading over to the local slaughterhouse to drop off some of the animals to be slaughtered. And as this tractor comes in, it pulls into the street right next to the building. And Prori sees that it blocks off the police cars from the southern side of the building. So the two of the police cars can't make their way in. So there's still an opening on the other side. And Prori looks down and he sees that the tractor is driving ever so slowly. And he knows that if he has a chance that he'd be able to jump and to land on top of the trailer that has the animals in it. And we'll say it's a pig farmer, so there's a trailer full of pigs. It's a closed trailer, but it's a really high trailer, so it wouldn't be that far of a fall for him. Let's see, how many feet would he have to fall? Let's go ahead and take this and add it twice. So pen light would be 14-foot fall. Okay, so it'll be a 14-foot fall, which is pretty substantial, but it's doable. So Prori runs over to the end of the edge of the building here where the bank was underneath him. And he looks down and he sees this tractor moving slowly 14 feet below the building. And he's going to try to jump and to land on top of this. Is he able to land successfully without falling off? And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to make this a difficult task with a difficulty of 6, because the tractor is moving slowly, and that's not moving super fast, but slowly, but it's still 14 feet down. I'm going to make it a 6. We have a +2 for our skill check, so we need to get a word of a 4 or higher. And the word I got was matter, which is 6 letters. So yes, Prori jumps off of the roof, landing securely, almost like a 3-point landing on top of this trailer. And the trailer begins now to drive, heading down towards the outskirts of the town, on the other side of the town that the tractor came in order to drop off the animals. Now the question is, do the police officers see him jumping down onto this trailer? And let's say, let's make it unlikely because of all the chaos going on. It's unlikely. The first word is 3, no, and the second word is going to be turned, which is 6. We will take the more favorable, the odd one in this case. So the answer is no. They do not see him jump onto this truck, onto this trailer, and slowly the tractor heads to the outskirts of town, and Prori lies down on this trailer, utterly flat so that he cannot be seen. And he holds the gun close to his chest. He puts his other hand behind his back to make sure that the files are still there. And yes, the files are indeed there. And this tractor and trailer begin to pull more distance and more distance away from the bank, from the roof. The sirens begin to grow fainter and fainter. And as they begin to come closer now to the slaughterhouse, oddly enough, Prori sees black vehicle, slightly off in the distance, a couple of blocks away, that drives into what appears to be a storage area, unit for building where there's storage units, and the garage door comes down. The question is, does Prori recognize his car? Is it the car that left the bank? And I will say it's likely at this point. It fits the story quite well. There's a 4, that is yes, and turned is 6, so yes and. So yes, it is indeed the car, and he also recognizes the individuals from the bank inside of the car before it pulls into this storage area and the garage door goes down. Eventually, the tractor makes its way to its destination, where it stops at the slaughterhouse, and the farmer gets out of his tractor and goes in and begins to talk with the yard workers there, who are responsible for helping him get his tractor into the yard so that he can unload his animals. At this point, Prori takes the opportunity to go to the end of the trailer and to climb down into the back of the trailer. He gets his feet firmly planted on the ground, and immediately he hears a voice behind him. "You! Have you been up there all the time?" And I think that is where we can end this session. Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, this is super fun. I've just hardly got started here with this role-playing session. We've got a character, we've got a background, we've got a problem, villains. We've got Prori, who has these secret files from his wind energy company in Dexel, and now he's trying to make an escape with these files, but he just got spotted by somebody. The question is, who is this person? What are they doing? How is he going to escape this? Are these people going to be after him now that they know they don't have the full files? What is going to happen with our hero Prori? Who is he going to turn to? How is he going to escape? How is this going to get resolved? I don't know. But the great thing about this is that the solo role-playing system will tell us. We have our little tool, we have our book, we have our rules, and we have our imagination. Man, this is exciting. I would say this is definitely, there's some possibility and potential to this system. I'm excited to see where this can go. In the future, I'd like to try this out with different genres. So we have maybe the fantasy genre, maybe we have something of a gothic genre. Like I said, you can use any book you want, and the book will determine the genre. So today we have this more modern kind of mystery, exciting thriller kind of novel. And as you can tell, the story was definitely reflective of that. Well, this has been really cool. This has been a fun experiment, and thank you for sticking with me and for your patience as I try to improv my way through this brand new system. If you like these kind of videos and you want to see more of them in the future, please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and I will try to make more videos where I display the possibilities of this system that's novel. And most importantly, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming for the future of gaming.